Well, the COVID-19 surge has convinced Ontario's government officials to introduce new restrictions. Customer capacity for several types of businesses is now limited to 50%. But some restaurant owners have made a difficult decision to simply close down for indoor dining. My next guest is one of those restaurant owners. Victoria Bazan joins us now from Toronto. She is the owner of Honest Weight, a seafood restaurant. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so this has obviously been a difficult 2 years, really, for many businesses, especially restaurants. I want to start by asking you how this recent decision was for you.
Well, again, it was another difficult decision, lots of ups and downs. It's been a real roller coaster, and we had been quite busy in the last few weeks. It's typically a time when restaurants are quite busy leading up to the holidays. So the dining room was full and everything was going well, relatively well. But with Omicron looming and all of the uncertainty around that, I thought it was time to pause indoor dining, primarily because I was concerned that if any of our staff tested positive, that they would be self-isolating over the holidays, and I didn't want that to happen. I also wanted to sort of take control of the situation. The uncertainty for restaurants is really difficult. You don't know if you're going to have to close or reduce your capacity, and that leaves you with a lot of expensive products on your hands that you potentially could waste. We deal with fish and seafood only. So I needed to take control of that situation and not take all the guesswork out of the equation.
You know, you do have a retail portion to your business as well, which is different from some other restaurant owners, but no doubt this has still been a financial hit for all restaurants, including yours, because even though you're trying to manage with takeout, with the retail side of things, this is a busy season.
It is. It is a busy season. We're lucky that we do have retail as a revenue stream. And takeout, but you know, the last few weeks, I'd have to say, it had started to feel a little bit like we were getting back to some kind of normal operation, and the mood was great. Customers were having a great time. We were full. We were busy, and to go back to this was really discouraging. And of course, it's a huge financial hit.
So what are you hearing then from your other sort of colleagues within that industry specifically that maybe don't have at least the retail component to balance the books a little bit? How are other restaurateurs that you're talking to feeling right now?
Well, I think I'm sure that everyone is discouraged, and everyone is, we use that word pivoting, which we're all sick and tired of using. But I'm sure that everybody's moving very quickly to try and get their takeout business up and running again. Although I think for many it's always been there. And I think we're, hoping that over the holidays that people are going to be more inclined to, order special meals, whether it's for, Christmas Eve or Christmas or New Year's Eve. A lot of people had planned to dine out on those evenings, and I think a lot of people out there are really inclined to support small restaurants right now, and we're getting lots and lots of orders for the holidays, so that's helpful.
And my producer who was speaking to you earlier conveyed to me that one of the reasons, for example, that you're not at the restaurant right now, you're masked up, you're at home taking care of your mother. And I imagine that is another huge consideration for you and for so many people who are in this situation where they're very worried about the transmissibility of this new variant, which is said to be extremely contagious. So how is that weighing on your mind overall during the holidays as you also contend with and try to balance this business aspect?
That is definitely a consideration. I'm one of the primary caregivers for my mom, who requires 24/7 care. We're doing everything we can. I mean, we put HEPA air purifiers, two HEPA air purifiers at Honest Weight several months ago. Um, uh, we have N95 masks for all of our staff and have for several weeks. I have PCR tests available, or rapid tests available. We're doing everything that we can to try and mitigate the risks. But there's only so much that we can do. Ultimately, this seems to be spreading quite rapidly, and we're all keeping fingers crossed that that it is not an overly serious course of illness for those who get it. But again, you know, there's a lot of speculation here, and sometimes you just have to make the decision, and move forward so that you can at least have that certainty. Once you've made the decision, you can at least do some planning. And it seemed fairly clear to me that with so much uncertainty, that it was going to take the government some time to decide what it was going to do. And that's the period that can be really, really difficult for businesses, is that period of uncertainty. So by making the decision, it made it a lot easier for me.
And finally, I just wanted to ask you, looking ahead, as you've been through this before, that it goes from capacity limits to lockdown to shutting the doors, these sorts of things. What are you bracing for in 2022?
Well, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with this particular wave. Obviously, like everyone, we're hoping that it's short-lived. And who knows if there's another one behind it? We just don't know. But I can tell you that everyone is really exhausted by this. Everyone is I really struggling to find hope that this will end soon. Because it just keeps coming back, and it just keeps hitting you in the face over and over and over again, and people are really tired.
I hear that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time today, Victoria. That is Victoria Bazan. She is the owner of Honest Weight, a seafood restaurant. Thank you again for your time.